You're calling the Prime Minister a liar?
I'm calling him a great script writer. I think he should try his hand at winning an Academy Award. KCR will be the first Hatrick Chief Minister from Southern India.
You hope.
The one scary thing that politicians have to do is to take choppers in campaigns, wait in a chopper. Things are getting a bit turbulent. Are you a nervous flyer?
Well, I'm more nervous about answering your tough questions.
Tell us what we're eating, by the way, before I get to the politics.
Proper South Indian fare. Chawal with some non-vegetarian.
Here on the ground in Telangana, this is Barkha Dutt with Anup Kumar from Mojo Story.
We're here on the ground in Hyderabad as the last mile race for Battleground Telangana is underway. And we're joined here by KT Rama Rao, in many ways the face of the BRS campaign, minister in the government, the working president of his party, the son of the chief minister, and possibly, and I don't know if he'll agree with me, someone who's fighting so far the toughest political battle of his life. Would you accept that categorization? Good to see you here in Hyderabad. Is this, of all the elections you've fought, been the toughest election you're fighting?
Barkha, in fact, every election while you're in the midst of it is tough. Because in 2018, exactly 5 years ago when we were fighting a general election, even that seemed tougher because, back then we had Chandrababu Naidu and all the communists, everybody ganging up against us along with Congress. This time, the communists have joined, at least one communist party, that is CPI, has joined Congress. But every election is tough.
Anything different about this election? Look, it's 10 years, right?
Yeah.
After 10 years, even a marriage is difficult. You really want the voters to love you just the same?
Well, I think you've seen in this country that people have, conferred, reposed faith in governments which have done well. You've seen it in the case of Jyoti Basuji, Navin Patnaik ji, even Gujarat for that matter. I think BJP has won 5 on the trot. So I think people are kind that way. I think we will not have any big problems.
But your legislators are facing a degree of anti-incumbency. There's an internal assessment, I know from people who study your party carefully, that at least 25 of your legislators are facing a degree of anger among people. Often we see the leader is popular, but his or her MLAs are not. Are you confronted with that challenge in this election?
The challenge is always there. I mean, the fatigue factor that you talked about, for an incumbent legislator is always going to be there. But the fact is, end of the day, I think people are more interested in looking at who's going to be running the state. I mean, the Congress party here, the BJP here have no chief minister candidates yet. I mean, of course, that's their prerogative. But in our case, our chief minister is a super popular chief minister who's done very well. He's done a wonderful job on both development and welfare. So I don't see much of a challenge that way. I mean, the fatigue, the anti-incumbency against MLAs, आजकल क्या हो गया, instant gratification का ज़माना है. तो कभी कभार एक बार क्या होता है, in spite of doing very well on number of counts. I mean, if I have to reel out a few things quickly on what all we've achieved, we're the first state in the country to have provided a portable drinking water connection to every home. That inspired Har Ghar Jal, by the way, Mission Bhagirath. We are, in fact, the state with the highest per capita income in the country now. We were ranked quite low in the past, in the 15th rank. Now we are number 1. In paddy production, today we are number 1, surpassing Punjab and Haryana from a 14th rank to number 1. So on number of counts, we have done exceedingly well. And we have initiated a number of development and welfare measures which are super popular, which have been inspiring other parts of India and also union government. So while there is some fatigue, I think end of the day, I think our popularity, our party leaders' popularity exceeds and eclipses a lot of these negativities.
I'll come to the economic and social indices a little later in our conversation because I know there's a lot to unpack there and you've rattled off some of those numbers. There are other numbers that the opposition is using against you. So more on that later. Let me ask you the broad political question. The one narrative that the Congress is using against you is that somewhere you've got a covert understanding with the BJP, right? And the one example that they put out for this is that your sister Kavita, who is seen to be implicated in what's come to be known as the Delhi liquor scam, was not arrested. Whereas Manish Sisodia has now been in jail for months. You know the allegation. She's been accused of being part of a sort of South club. And you know that a friendly liquor policy was created in exchange for cash, which went into the Aam Aadmi Party coffers. The whisper is, A, that Kavita is not arrested. This shows कि कुछ तो deal है. B, that there was a meeting that took place. Prime Minister has said KCR came to me and he wanted us all to come together. He wanted to join the NDA.
I'll answer it in two parts. The first part is, if Kavita not being arrested is ground enough, is reason enough for somebody to believe that we are in collusion. Let me ask you, let me shoot back saying, if we were colluded, if we had colluded, why would there be a case in the first place? That's the first question I would ask. And the second part is...
Well, politics is not static, right? So maybe you weren't on such good terms, but you're seeking to come on good terms again.
We've been accused of disrespecting the Prime Minister when he visits town for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Our leader has been accused of being disrespectful, of not receiving the Prime Minister, etc., etc. So where is the question of collusion there? And second part. If let me also remind you that when you said Sisodia is arrested, Kavita is not. Kavita has actually gotten a stay from the Supreme Court. So let me remind your viewers and you as well that she is basically fighting a case in Supreme Court. And I think that's the reason why they have not arrested her. The third part to it. If somebody not getting arrested is ground enough to believe that they are colluded, that they have colluded, then Sonia ji and Rahul also have not been arrested. They are facing an inquiry in National Herald. Are they also in collusion? Are they also hand in glove with BJP? And the last part, when you said, Modi ने कहा कि हम NDA join होना चाह रहे थे. मैं ये बात पूछता हूँ बरका कि मोदी जी के वर्ड्स कब से सैक्रोसैंक्ट बन गए इस देश में? उन्होंने तो कहा था कि 2022 तक हर किसी के पास घर होगा, हर घर में नल होगा, बुलेट ट्रेन्स दौड़ेंगे,
So what's the truth of that? What's the truth of that? What's the truth of the conversation that took place between your father and the Prime Minister?
जितना ट्रूथ बाकी चीजों में था जो मोदी ने कहा कि 15 लाख मिलेगा, 2 करोड़ युवाओं को बेरोजगार मिलेगा और 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी हो जाएगा, साथ ही साथ आमदनी डबल हो जाएगी किसानों की, उनमें जितना वास्तव है इसमें भी उतना ही वास्तव है.
Are you accusing the Prime Minister of lying?
Isn't he one?
You tell me. You're the politician, I'm the journalist.
Well, absolutely. Because
you're calling the Prime Minister a liar.
I'm calling him a great script writer. I think he should try his hand at winning an Academy Award. Because, Natu won the Oscar for Best Dance and Best Song. I think the Prime Minister is capable of winning an Oscar for Best Script Writing.
So what happened in that conversation? That meeting did take place, right? Between your father and the Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister and the Chief Minister meeting each other is quite normal. I mean, these are two institutions, which have to be in sync, which have to work in sync. The Prime Minister meeting a Chief Minister is not a big news.
So what happened in the conversation?
And what transpires in a 45-minute to 1-hour meeting is something that you'll have to ask either of them. But I can tell you one thing, and our Chief Minister has already answered it in the recent India Today interview as well. He had categorically denied it, saying basically it's a figment of the Prime Minister's imagination.
Not the meeting itself.
The meeting they've met number of times. Yeah.
Right.
Now, what the Prime Minister alludes to is a meeting that happened 2.5 years.
So what is the truth of the conversation according to you?
Absolutely rubbish, because it is not something that we mooted. And also, let me tell you, हमें कोई पागल कुत्ता ने नहीं काटा है कि कोई एनडीए में जाके ज्वाइन हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि एनडीए है कौन एनडीए में? एनडीए में अगर कोई है तो उसमें है सीबीआई, ईडी, आईटी और बीजेपी, और कौन है? और वो डूबती नावा है.
डूबती कहाँ से? It is on the national stage. It is the strongest political party in recent memory. डूबती कहाँ से?
At least for now. But I think if people are able to see through the designs in 24, we are quite confident that BJP will be shown the door, and 100% we feel that we have a good chance of coming back in Telangana. We'll win significant number of seats here. We'll enter Maharashtra. We'll win some parliament seats there as well, and come to Delhi and basically try and see how we can enforce a coalition which is secular.
So more questions for you as we hit the campaign trail with you. But I have one question on the Prime Minister. You're saying there's no truth to the Prime Minister's claim that your party and your father,
if there was, then why did it take Prime Minister 2.5 years of sweet time to come out and talk about it? Because 2.5 years later, he suddenly got a brain flash or a brain wave and said, okay, मैं अभी बताऊंगा जाके तेलंगाना. 2-2.5 साल क्या कर रहे थे?
Your party has supported the centre on key legislation.
So did Congress. So what? So did Congress. Congress supported GST. Congress supported a number of other legislations. We rejected farm laws. We voted against the Citizen Amendment Act. We voted against, we openly came out against Uniform Civil Code. So?
And today you regret supporting the abrogation of 370 in Kashmir. What made you change your mind?
Well, I think in hindsight, because when they said they will restore statehood expeditiously, we took it at face value, and that did not happen. And I think it's a mistake in hindsight.
And why did you make that mistake, you think,
Like
at
I
that
said,
time?
you know, at that point in time, it was cited as a bill that will, for a short term, they would abrogate, create a level playing field.
So your
and then go
problem is
back.
not the abrogation of 370. Your problem is the denial of statehood. If that comes back, would,
Well, I think in
would that
this-
vote have still been a mistake?
The thing is, in this country, if you think about it for a minute, you know, where union territories are becoming states, and we are a party that fought for statehood. So for us, we understand the value of autonomy and being a statehood in a federal structure. And when that is denied to the people of Kashmir, definitely I believe it's a mistake.
Well, lots more to ask KT Rama Rao. We're going to be hitting the campaign trail with him. We are headed towards the area of Kamareddy, where his father, the chief minister, is going to be contesting as his second seat. We'll be joining the road show and taking a chopper ride with KTR as we continue to grill him in Battlefield Telangana. So we're headed to the area of Kamareddy, where your father is contesting he's contesting from there this time. Why 2 seats?
Why not? When Rahul can contest from Amethi and Wayanad, Modi can contest from Gandhinagar and Varanasi, I think it was. Why not?
But there must have been some thought to it.
No, I mean, the thing
This is, of course, his native
more of a-
village is in this area, but
It is,
why?
And also a strategic move. You know, we wanted to rev up adjoining constituencies as well. And yes, I think it's working well.
Which seat will he keep?
I think he'll keep one of them.
You're being very, very obscure. Huh?
Well, obfuscation is one of those things that you have to do at some points, especially before an election, before we go to polls.
So let me ask you this. The TRS is now the BRS.
Yes.
They were national ambitions. Do you think the party overreached before its time?
No, I think, you have to start somewhere. I mean, like they say, even a 1,000-mile journey begins with a couple of steps. We look at BJP in this very country. They had 2 MPs 40 years ago. Now they have 303. So it's not like we're in a rush to, achieve something massive in 24. We'd want to make an impactful debut in Maharashtra. That's the immediate ambition. And then beyond that, we'll see how it goes. Because I think any leader who's worth his salt in this country, who's done well as a Hatrick chief minister after 3rd of December, KCR will be the first Hatrick chief minister from southern India.
You hope.
No, I believe so. I strongly believe.
The other Hatrick chief minister who went on to become prime minister was the present prime minister. Does your father have similar ambitions?
Why not? Why not?
So
Who knows?
KCR dreams of being prime minister one day?
Eventually. It may not be in 24, but eventually, yes, why not? I mean,
So that's a very specific admission here that KT Rama Rao, the chief minister of Telangana, does want to be prime minister of India one day.
well, I'm not the chief minister yet. It's
No,
KC. I mean,
I'm saying you are saying on behalf of your father, who is the chief minister, that he does want to be
All
chief.
I'm saying is this country is not bipolar. This country is not a toss-up between. I think India can do better than Modi and Rahul is what I'm saying.
And all I'm asking you is this a realistic ambition for your father and your party to have?
See, nothing is beyond the realm of possibility in politics and in India. Because if you think about it, before 2014, who was Narendra Modi ji? Even he was not, taken seriously outside of Gujarat. But once he started campaign after 2010, after he won the 3rd election, he was taken seriously. And of course, he was part of a national party. So therefore, I think he had a better platform to kind of make it happen quicker. But what we want to do is make an impactful debut in Maharashtra, like I've been saying, win big in Telangana, and then hopefully have 30, 40 seats in parliament, and then who knows where
Well,
we
you
go.
have to win Telangana first too.
Of course. Like in cricket, they say, you have to play the next ball. So
let's head for the field.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So let me ask you this. Did you expect the Congress to be putting up the kind of fight that it is right now?
Well, the Congress is more in social media than in society. Because from whatever little I've seen, whatever reports that I'm hearing, whatever surveys I'm looking at, it's all us winning all over the place. The thing is, all this hype that is created around Congress and their resurgence, etc., it's primarily because BJP, which was flying high till about 6-8 months ago, has suddenly dipped. So the runner-up position is now going to belong to the Congress. So it doesn't matter to us because we are going to be the winner. Now, who the runner-up is, it's their headache, not ours.
You don't think that your main challenger today is the Congress party?
They are, of course. Like I said, the wins from the BJP have started shifting towards Congress in the last 6 months only because I think the BJP was never organically a strong force here, but they had a bit of a sort of a flash in the pan kind of a moment, and now that is dissipated all of a sudden. So whatever little they had going for them, that has shifted towards Congress. So like I said, the runner-up position is up for the grabs between the two guys, BJP and Congress. So I think it's going to be the Congress who's going to be the first runner-up.
Let me ask you your opinion on Revanth Reddy, the chief of the Congress in Telangana. Many are crediting him with having turned the Congress campaign around. He's also contesting directly against your father in Kamareddy, where we are headed now. How do you see Revanth Reddy as a challenger, both to your father in Kamareddy as well as an overall contender for, as an opposition leader?
Barkha, mark my words. Last time in 2018, Revanth had lost his seat in Kodangal. This time he's contesting from 2 seats. He's going to lose both of them. And in Kamareddy, where he's running against the chief minister, he'll come third. Mark my words.
We will talk on the 3rd of December.
Mark my words.
What do you think he's a worthy challenger, a serious challenger?
Like I said, if he's going to lose his own seat, where is the question of being a challenger or whatever?
You have on record called him a criminal. How can you use a word like that for a political opponent?
Well, he's a third-rate criminal, not just a criminal.
What is your basis to say that?
Well, he was caught red-handed in front of the cameras with 50 lakh rupees, bribing an MLA of ours. The whole world has seen it. The case is still on. Let me also remind you that his own party MPs, his colleague, Mr. Venkat Reddy, has gone on record and said Revanth has purchased the PCC presidentship for a sum of rupees 50 crore. That shows you how intellectually bankrupt Congress party is and politically bankrupt Congress party is to offer presidentship to a fellow who just bought it in an open bid.
Well, a lot more questions about the Congress when we land, but one last question to you on your campaign strategy. 10 years in power, a certain degree of inevitable anti-incumbency, yet only 7 sitting MLAs, please correct me if I'm wrong, actually changed. Do you think that was a mistake? Do you think the people of Telangana deserved fresher faces?
No, I don't think so, because people eventually have given chances repeatedly to anybody who's done well. You look at Odisha, Naveen Patnaik ji has been elected 5 times on the trot. In Gujarat, BJP has been elected again 5 consecutive terms. So I think people eventually look at who's going to run the state. Now effectively they'll deliver the goods. And I think KCR ji has done really well. I see no reason why there will be a problem.
And for you personally, this is what, your 5th election?
This is my 5th general election, and I won all 4 on the trot, and hopefully the 5th one as well.
Have you changed as a politician?
Oh yeah, I have.
What's the one thing that's changed?
I was completely clueless on caste and all the nonsense that goes around in the name of religion. After dabbling in politics, that's one hard realization that hits you. It's truly sad that you have to live with this realization that caste and religion do matter, and it's truly unfortunate.
The one scary thing that politicians have to do is to take choppers in campaigns, wait in a chopper. Things are getting a bit turbulent. Are you a nervous flyer?
Well, I'm more nervous about answering your tough questions. I'm not a nervous flyer at all.
All right, so we're looking out at the mist. If the camera turns, you can see it's a little misty outside. We should be landing down in the Kamareddy area in a few moments from now, hopefully, with many more questions for KT Rama Rao.
హలో లచ్చన్న వెల్కమ్ నీ గురించి కలవరిస్తున్నా ఇక్కడ
A massive road show and a huge show of support here in Buffoon. You can see the crowds here lining up all along the roads, women and men waving the trademark pink colours of the TRS, now known as the BRS. KTR, the crowds are really excited, and I must ask you, don't you ever want to be Chief Minister?
No, absolutely not. Our leader is in the pink of his health, and I think he has an attempt to definitely go on for another 10-15 years. And I'm happy where I am. Never expected to be a minister. So if I ask for anything more, I think it'll be greedy.
But there was talk of a generational shift within the party, and a lot of people thought you might become officially the chief minister.
But I never thought of it that way. I think it was more about speculation, and in politics, unfortunately, we take things for granted. But the fact is, you can never do that, because end of the day, there are many more qualified people, many more smarter people in my party. Just because I'm my leader's son does not mean that I'm entitled to a position.
But I'm sure everybody wants the top job. Don't you want the top job in your state?
Like I said, not really. There are many more qualified people, many more smarter people. Happy to be where I am.
You don't think the party would benefit from a generational shift?
Well, I don't think so. Our leader is doing very well, super popular among the public. So therefore, I don't see any reason why there should be a change.
So before I ask the next set of questions, you can see here the crowds all along, and KTR is here waving to the crowds, but ruling out all talk of a generational shift in the party. Let me just get this side and ask him a few more questions. What is the one thing, if you could just turn around and look at our camera, what is the one thing that you would do differently or you do differently from your father?
Well, I think I'm younger, so I tend to be more. I do more of these road shows. I don't think he does. A campaign like this. I like more energy. I like more engagement.
There has been some criticism of your father that he's inaccessible, spends too much time at the farmhouse, doesn't meet people, doesn't meet his legislators. Do you encourage your father to be more accessible, to be more open in the way you're being here?
That has been said for the last 23 years. We have been hearing about it time and again. I don't think that's a bit, that's an issue that concerns people at large, because of course he's one of the top performing chief ministers in the state, in the country, for a reason. He's delivered the goods, he's delivered the basics that people want. So I don't think that is an issue at all from the people perspective.
As the crowds cheer you on and your party on here, I have to ask you about Rahul Gandhi. And I ask you about Rahul Gandhi because many people argue that it was Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra that made the Congress a contender in the state. How do you assess Rahul Gandhi as a political opponent?
I think Rahul Gandhi is somebody who needs to do a lot more reading. And when I say reading, I just don't mean the scripts that he's given. But I think he really wants to evolve as a leader. He should develop an understanding of what works and what doesn't. And at this point in time, I think in Telangana, he's clueless.
He's clueless?
He is clueless.
What's the one word you choose to describe him?
Clueless.
You've called him a word with, they've called you the B team of the BJP.
Well, I called him a buffoon.
Yeah.
I did, and I stand by it, of course.
You think Rahul Gandhi is a buffoon?
See, the thing is, when somebody comes into Telangana and accuses of 1 lakh crore graft in an 80,000 crore project, what do you call it?
Why would you personalize your commentary on Rahul Gandhi in this way?
Because, when somebody makes random, reckless accusations like that, and that too without any basis or even some clarity on what really went on, obviously, you do feel offended.
The Congress accuses you of corruption. The BJP talks about
the Congress can talk about multiple things, but the fact is, A to Z corruption. A to Z corruption is what the Congress has always been known for. Because Adarsh se leke, Buffoon se leke, Commonwealth tak, Congress is steeped in corruption. So Congress talking about corruption is a joke. And also, their Pradesh Congress Committee president here was somebody who was caught with 50 lakh rupees of cash as they were offering a bribe to an MLA. So Congress talking about corruption has to be a serious joke.
So if I ask you just to flip around just for a second so our camera can catch you better. What do you think Rahul Gandhi is a bigger threat to the BRS today or the BJP under Prime Minister Modi?
I think Rahul Gandhi is the biggest asset for Prime Minister Modi. That's what
and for you?
Well, he's an asset wherever he goes to the opposition. Because whatever he says, if it's going to boomerang, it's going to backfire on the Congress.
How do you respond to the charges that you have inherited your job? I know Rahul Gandhi can't make that argument, but the BJP can.
Well, I don't think BJP can either. Because, they have too many too much Parivarwad politics happening in BJP. Who's Jay Shah? Who's Jay Shah to be running BCCI? Other than the fact that he's Amit Shah's son. What other entitlement does he have which makes him qualified enough to run BCCI?
The Congress says there are multiple chief ministerial candidates in your party. The Congress says there are multiple chief ministerial candidates in your party. You, your father, your sister.
There's only one chief minister, that is KCR. We all work under him and we'll be happy to work under him without any title or position.
Let me ask you this. Okay, lots of cheers for the leader there. Over the noise, we're going to try and squeeze in one last question. Let me try and squeeze one more question from you, so I'll ask you to flip around. In case you do not make the government on your own and you fall short of the numbers, will you be open to a post-poll alliance with the BJP?
We are winning 88 plus. So that question does not
What
arise.
if it happens?
We'll talk in third. I'm telling you very clearly.
Your father is known for his pragmatism.
No,
Could you consider allying with the BJP?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We'd rather sit in the opposition.
You would rather sit in the
opposition.
And what is the fate of the India Alliance? Do you think you made a mistake by not being part of it?
I think India Alliance is all about chai biscuit meetings. Nothing serious about it.
I want to show you something. There's under Kittu Mobiles, there's a welcome KTR sir shot. But to come back to the India Alliance, have you been in touch with the non-BJP, non-Congress parties?
Absolutely, we are. We are in active engagement. Hopefully, after the 3rd of December, we can take it forward more strongly.
But many of them are part of the India Alliance.
That's what I'm saying. I think most of them are coming out. Now, Akhilesh is already accusing the Congress of being arrogant, which has always been the case. I think he's just realized it now.
Okay, I'm going to let you get back to your road show. KTR there ruling out an alliance with the BJP post-poll and saying that even other parties in the India Alliance will soon want to recalibrate their positions once the election is over. Here on the ground in Telangana, this is Barkha Dutt with Anup Kumar for Mojo Story. So we've just stopped to have a quick lunch. Tell us what we're eating, by the way, before I get to the politics.
Proper South Indian fare. Chawal with some non-vegetarian lamb, some dal and some pappu charu, which is basically
What is that?
lentil soup with a lot of veggies in it.
Sounds very healthy. So let's come back to the politics. We just saw the road show. Some of the slogans from the ground. People were very excited about seeing you and they want you to be chief minister. So let me ask you. There was talk that there could be a generational shift, that your father could make way for you. Won't we ever see you as a chief ministerial contender?
Well, honestly speaking, to be where I am, in a very privileged position as a minister, in itself is something that I have never dreamt of. So to want anything beyond this is absolute greed.
But people wanted it. That was the sort of cries from the crowd.
That was some of our party workers who probably want to do that. But I think our chief minister is young. He's in the pink of his health. And I think he has hit in him to go on for longer. So I don't see any reason. And also, honestly speaking, like I said, I'm a privileged, entrant into politics. Never did I think that I would be in this position. Like I said, and to want anything more is honestly greedy.
What is the one thing you do differently from your father in politics?
I have lunch with Barkha Dutt. I don't think.
I hope I can have lunch with KCR one day.
I'm saying I don't think he's done that in the past. So, but all I'm saying is he belongs to a different generation. So maybe there are a few things which I do which is slightly different. I'm probably more new age that way. I probably engage more. He comes from the old school where people come to hear him, cheer him, and he was the leader of the movement. So he has a special aura. He has a special aura that none of us do. He's the leader of the movement. He's principally responsible for the formation of the state. So he has a certain aura that none of us in Telangana politics, cutting across different parties. Can I serve you some? This is aloo, tomato and aloo together. So this
delicious.
is possibly.
It's quite spicy though, the food.
It is.
Bas. I'll become an aloo myself if I eat more aloo.
The Telugu food is quite spicy.
It's quite spicy.
Andhra,
No, but listen,
Telangana.
you're talking about your father having a different style. One of the criticisms about him is that he's not accessible.
He's not
He doesn't
accessible.
meet people enough. He doesn't meet his MLAs enough. How do you respond to that criticism?
That's not at all true. He's been accessible, and he's been basically as a leader of the state. He's been doing things with a missionary zeal. He's the first chief minister in the country to have completed a drinking water project which provides portable drinking water connection to every home. So these sort of things require a single-minded pursuit. He's completed the world's largest lift irrigation project. He's made Telangana, which was a barren land, into now the granary of India. These are no mean achievements.
Do you both think similarly politically, or do you have a different take? For example,
course,
suppose you fall short of the majority after elections, and there was the possibility of aligning with the BJP, would you do it?
Absolutely. Firstly, we will not fall short.
If you do?
Well, if you is a question that I think will not arise. So I would rather not, but the fact is, we fought 5 elections, Barkha. 2004, we aligned with Congress. 2009, we aligned with Communists and the TDP. 2014, 18 and 23, we're fighting alone. We have never aligned with BJP ever in our history. And secondly, we've not even aligned with them in a local body election. So I would say that, if anybody is aligned in Telangana with BJP, it is the Congress. They've shared the bed in 2 local municipalities here, Maktal and Manikonda. They still are together. And they, in fact, had a tacit understanding last time in parliament elections where 3 BJP MPs, Adilabad, Nizamabad and Karimnagar, all 3 of them were supported by Congress cadre, and the vote was...
You're saying the Congress and the BJP have a de facto understanding in some seats?
You can go and check it out in the ground. The ground reality is in Adilabad, Nizamabad and Karimnagar, the Congress cadre worked for BJP last parliament.
Talking about alliances.
And even now, by the way.
Okay, we'll put that
the 3 rabble rousers of the BJP, Raja Singh, Bandi Sanjay and Dharmapuri Arvind, who are known Muslim haters, to spew venom day in, day out. कांग्रेस ने वहां पे डमी कैंडिडेट को खड़ा किया तीनों भी जगह।
पर क्यों?
क्योंकि बीजेपी के साथ अंडरस्टैंडिंग है। और क्या आपको शायद दिल्ली में दिल्ली में जो मीडिया हाउसेस हैं, दिल्ली में जो जर्नलिस्ट हैं, आपको कुछ हम कहते हैं ये तो ताजुब होता है, थोड़ा आश्चर्य भी होता होगा शायद। द फैक्ट इज एट अ लोकल लेवल वो दुश्मन का दुश्मन दोस्त वाला, क्योंकि बोथ ऑफ देम लुक एट अस एज अ स्ट्रॉन्गर फोर्स, सो दे अलाइन।
Okay, we'll put that to the Congress, but my question is talking about alliances. Your party has been in alliance with the Congress in the past.
Yes.
You chose to remain neutral on the India alliance. Why was that?
Because the Congress did not concede Telangana. We had to walk out of the alliance in 2 years, less than 2 years. In 2004, we came out, we fought hard against them. Eventually, we had to wage a battle to actually make sure that they concede Telangana. Congress is looked at as a party which has always been against the interests of Telangana. So therefore, there is no question of us joining them in any kind of alliance or any kind of formation. And more importantly, Barkha, 75 years post-independence, the one party which has gotten the maximum number of opportunities is the Congress in the country. 50 plus years. And all they did was diddly squat, really, honestly. So therefore, why would you want a failed party which has failed India, not just itself? Why would you want to align with anybody like that?
What would you call the Prime Minister in our conversation a scriptwriter?
Yes.
What would you call Rahul Gandhi?
I think Rahul Gandhi is basically a script reader.
PM is a scriptwriter, Rahul Gandhi is a script reader.
Rahul Gandhi is not a leader. He just reads out scripts wherever he goes. कुछ लिख के दे देते हैं, पढ़ के जाता है बेचारा। यहाँ पे आके कहता है, ये उनका आदत है, आदत से मशहूर है। कोलकाता जाते हैं, वहाँ कहते हैं दीदी आप बी टीम हो बीजेपी के। फिर दिल्ली जाते हैं, केजरीवाल को बोलते हैं बी टीम बीजेपी के। यहाँ आके कहते हैं KCR बी टीम। That shows his inherent weakness of his party. उनको लगता है कि उन्होंने ठेका ले रखा है मुसलमान के वोटों पे, माइनॉरिटी वोट्स पे। अगर कोई और आता है and they start making an impactful presence, Rahul Gandhi and Congress doesn't like it, so therefore they start this diatribe, name calling, saying B team. What I ask Rahul Gandhi is, please tell us, why should the Muslims of this country vote for you? Because after 55 years of your governments, consecutive governments, Muslims have remained where they are. Your grandmother said, "Garibi hatao." क्या उखाड़ लिया 50 साल में कुछ?
But aren't you worried the Muslim vote is shifting in Telangana to the Congress?
I don't think so. I think Muslims are smarter.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Every citizen of Telangana is smarter than what the Congress would like you to believe.
They use a B team phrase for you. You used a B word for him.
Well, what do you call a guy who accuses...
What's the word first?
Well, I called him a buffoon.
Rahul Gandhi.
Yes, and the reason why I called him a buffoon is because what do you call a guy who accuses KCR Garu of 1 lakh crore grab in an 80,000 crore project? The project भी खत्म हो गया, पानी भी आ रहा है. इस सब देखने के बाद भी 80,000 करोड़ में जो प्रोजेक्ट खत्म हो गया, उसमें आके कहता है आदमी कि 1 लाख करोड़ का घोटाला हो गया. उसको क्या बोले बफून नहीं?
But the essence of the allegation?
The essence of the allegation is it's untrue, it's silly and it's absurd. And 9.5 years, Modi has been saying the same thing. BJP has been saying the same thing. But any iota of evidence, let them go to a court of law and prove it.
Who do you disagree with more politically? The Prime Minister and his party or Rahul Gandhi and his party?
Well, we are selective on certain things. I mean, I don't agree with the Prime Minister on his politics of hate. You don't look at India as being exclusive to one community. Unfortunately, BJP seems to think so. And I don't agree with Rahul on the fact that Congress is a needed change in this country, because Congress is the biggest white elephant of this country.
On the 3rd of December, what do you think the situation or your mood would be like?
After we win, we can chat.
Will we have the same lunch or a different lunch?
If you come to Hyderabad, maybe a different lunch which is less spicy, so that
it's very spicy.
You don't sniffle and kind of go through.
It is very spicy, but it was delicious. But I do want to ask you in the end, KTR, you're calling Rahul Gandhi a buffoon today. You're calling Prime Minister a scriptwriter. Nothing is permanent in politics.
Yeah, they call his names as well. Please remember that. They call KCR Karab. They call him lots of other names as well.
Nothing is permanent in politics. Tomorrow, if you need them.
Need them for what?
Short of numbers.
There will be a situation, Barkha, where they will need us. दिल्ली को घुटनों पे आना पड़ेगा रीजनल पार्टीज के पास. आके उनकी घमंड छोड़ के, उनके बड़े बड़े पेडेस्टल से उतर के, अपने गद्दियों से उतर के बाहर आए, पूरे हिंदुस्तान में जो परफॉर्मर है उनकी तरफ देखे, बात करे, समझने की कोशिश करे कि क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. जो गलतियां उन्होंने की पिछले 75 साल में, चाहे वो कांग्रेस हो या बीजेपी हो, उनको सीखना चाहिए. उनको लोगों को भी उनको सबक सिखाना भी चाहिए.
Has anyone in the BJP reached out to you unofficially? Anything?
No.
Even the Prime Minister says that it was talking about you becoming Chief Minister and them joining NDA.
We don't need the Prime Minister's permission, to decide our party leadership, because the Prime Minister and his party all they have in this state assembly is 1 seat. So we don't really need his permission or no objection certificate to decide on our leadership. But I can tell you again, our leader is in the pink of his health. He will continue to run the state.
Thank you, KT Rama Rao, for talking to us. After a very spicy but delicious lunch, we're going to let him hit the campaign trail in the area of Kamareddy, which is an ancestral place of his father, where KT Rama Rao is contesting the 2nd seat. And yes, you need a lot of these when the spices are as intense as they are in this delicious meal. This is Barkha Dutt signing off on the ground in Telangana.